Okay, I believe this is recording now. I hope you guys had a pretty good time with this quiz. So we'll just quickly run through what the working out should be. Now, as soon as I see the word concave down, concavity always refers to y double dash. That's always the second derivative, or f double dash in this case. So now we just need to differentiate twice straight away. Okay, f double dash equals to 12x plus 2, and we're looking for it to be concave down, so now we need it to be less than 0. Okay, so we say 12x plus 2 is less than 0. That means x is less than 1 on 6, negative 1 on 6. So it should be option A. An infinite geometric series has a first term 15 and limiting sum of 10.5. Limiting sum essentially just means instead of doing sum equals to a bracket r to the power of n minus 1 over r minus 1, that is a normal sum. We're not doing that. No, limiting sum is we just do a over 1 minus r. Okay, I've shown you guys a proof of it, where like when n tends to infinity and r is less than 1, it just diminishes and it just turns into a normal number. So I just need to sub in 10.5 equals to 15 over 1 minus r, and you should get the answer. Whatever that is, you should mark it yourselves at that point. I'm not really bothered about that one. All right, normal distribution. I just draw the stupid normal distribution straight away, just to see, just to get a general idea. 61 is the mean. Standard deviation is 8. Every distance that I'm referring to here is in terms of 8. How many 8s can I fit in? If it's half 8, that's fine too. Oh, 53, look at that. That is z of negative 1, because it's only 1/8 lower than that. For you guys, maybe it's that way. Now, and for this guy, 85, it is 24 more. So what does that mean? Z equals to 3 for 85. Yeah, we need to go up 25. So now what I need to remember is that half, from negative 1 to 0, it is half of 68, which is 34%. And from 0 to 3, clearly not the scale, that's going to be half of 99.7%, because negative 3 to 3 is 99.7. So we get 99.7 over 2%, and that turns out to be A, because if you add 34% and 99.7 on 2. Okay, 9 to the x over 2 dx, which of the following is the answer? Where C is the constant, that's fine. Now, 1 over 2 tricks me up. 1 over 2, 9 to the x dx. You guys had reference sheets. Some of you guys had your laptops out. That's okay, because I saw most of you guys were in reference sheets and nothing else. Most of you guys were. If you know, if I have a to f of x integral, where a is just not e, anything but e, then this will just turn into a to f of x. Oops, sorry, that should have had f dash of x, but in this case it's irrelevant because it's just x. And we need to divide by ln of a plus c. So in this case we do the same thing. We just get half bracket 9 to the x over ln of 9 plus c. Plus c could be in the bracket, out the bracket, it doesn't really matter in this case. Now you get 9 to the x over 2 ln 9 plus c. And then you're like, oh, that should be one of the answers. No, it's not. And you're not a loser for that. You have to remember, ooh, there is a base of 3 in 2 of these options. I need to change it somehow. That means I need to realize ln 9 is the same as ln 3 squared, right? And then you can take it out. Then it becomes 9 to the x over 4 ln 3 plus c. Now it becomes option D. Hopefully that's going okay. Siam has 6 different pairs of socks. If 2 socks are selected at random, what is the probability that they will be a matching pair? Some of you guys may have done 1 over 36. Some of you guys have done 1 over 132. I've seen people say, oh, it's got to be 1 over 6 times 1 over 6. Easy. I've seen people say, oh, it's got to be 1 out of 12, and then now I only have 11 left. If you make this mistake, I would respect you a bit more. This one is a sad one. Okay, it's pretty sad. What we need to remember is that, oh, first thing first, neither of the answers. Did the question say it has to be a particular pair? They did not. I don't care which one of the pairs are. So the first one that I pick doesn't matter. It's 12 out of 12, or like it actually has no impact on my probability. And once I have selected that one sock out, then out of the remaining 11, I need to have one other matching pair that works with it. So 1 out of 11, not 11 out of 11. So now it becomes just 1 out of 11. Okay? The function y equals to ln x is transformed into that. Now, some of you guys made a bit of a mistake here. You guys have to remember we prefer to have it vectorized. It's the same as f of 3x minus 3 right now compared to f of x. This is f of x. So now we need to have it as f of 3 bracket x minus 1. Obviously, you can translate and then dilate if it's not vectorized first. But either way, you just got to make sure you're doing the right thing. In this case, what I would have done is dilate by scale vector 1/3 and then translate 1 right. There we go. When you vectorize it, you can see it. Question 7. I don't know how many of you guys would have done this perfectly right, exactly the way you should have. I've tried it 2 different ways, and I thought both ways should work. But the first way that I thought would work intuitively, graphically works, but somehow it doesn't give me the same answer when I algebraically solve it. So I'm going to think about that for like half an hour maybe. But yeah, I'll just let you guys know that I'm graphically a genius. Anyhow, what we need to think about is that this is after transformation from f of x, right? So now what I need to do is I need to go from f of 3x minus 1 to f of x and then to f of 2x plus 5. Okay? The way that I attempted was going straight from here to here, and that's the one that I said graphically makes sense, but somehow algebraically I don't get the right answer. But graphically it's an identical thing, so yeah, no, it is what it is. Anyhow, what do we got to do? From here, I need to realize that x equals to negative 1 and 3x minus 1 yields an output that will give equals to 0. That means 3 bracket negative 1 minus 1 should be the same as negative 4. That means that is my initial x-intercept for this guy. OG is negative 4. So we do the same thing. X equals to 2 and 3x minus 1. That means it turns into 5. So for this guy, the OG, before it turned into 3x minus 1, it was 5. Okay? So because after 3x minus 1 has been substituted, then we get the answers negative 4 and 5. And at that point, now what I got to do is that the new intercept that we are looking for works for exactly those values. So that means that 2x plus 5 equals to what was negative 4, the new value. And also 2x plus 5 equals to 5. That means x equals to negative 9 on 2, and x equals to 0. So it's got to be B. This is an algebraic way that I'm showing you guys right now, but some of you guys could try the graphing way, with the transformation way. So if you guys had f of 3x minus 1, was it? Equals to 0, and x equals to negative 1 and 2. And notice this is the same as 3x minus 1/3. So this is the same as horizontal dilation by 1/3, then horizontal translation 1/3 right. So if I want to go back to f of x, I need to do it backwards. I need to go horizontal translation 1/3 left, then horizontal dilation by by not 1/3 but 3, because I'm trying to kind of unwrap it. I'm trying to go backwards from the transformation that happened. It was f of x, and now it turned into 3x minus 1, and now I have -1 and 2. So what I need to do is I need to go backwards with the transformations that I have with these guys. So now I get equals to 0. I need to move 1/3 to the left again, so -4 on 3 for x equals to -1. So let's do that. X equals to -1 minus 1/3, and x equals to 2 minus 1/3. So I did the translation first. And now I get -4 and 3, and I get x equals to 5 on 3. And now I get whole oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. Okay. I was like, that's a bit weird. Now I get f of x equals to 3 is the same as x equals to -4 and 5. So now I get the original points that I already had earlier here, that which with algebraically it was much faster, but I think graphing transformation, if I think of it as I'm just reversing the processes, I think it makes more sense for you guys. And then at this point I need to get it back to 2x plus 5, so that means I need to dilate it by a factor of half and then move it to the left by 5.2 or 2.5. So that means it becomes -2 and 5 on 2, and then I need to move it again. So it becomes -4.5 and 0. So those are the two answers. Those are two ways to do it, but if I were to be honest, if I were to see this in an exam, and this is a 1 marker, I've been trying to insist. Is insist a very good word for it? I've been trying to emphasize that, it's important that you guys just skip these things. Yeah. Anyhow, differentiate that. It becomes 10 over ln. And this guy's a teacher. Plus 5 squared x, 5x. Arithmetic sequence 6, 17, 28, 39. D equals to 17 minus 6, which equals to 11. Tn equals to a plus n minus 1d. Mr. Kim just likes to write that working out. I called myself in third person. Jeez. 6 plus n minus 1 times 11. T of 13 equals to 6 plus 12 times 11, which is 6 plus 132, 138. Yeah, if you trust your calculator, guys. Sum of the first terms, sum of 21. Because I do not have the L, I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm going to use this formula. 2a plus n minus 1d. If I had the L, I would take the L. 21 over 2, 12 plus 20 times 11. Chuck that in the calc. You guys can do that. I'm not going to waste my time on it. F of g of x. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is like 6 p.m. right now. On my iPad, it says 9:41 a.m. Hey. No, it's dark. It's scary. F of g of x equals 1 over 2 bracket 3x plus 2 minus 1, and that equals to 1 over 6x plus 3. And if you wish to be a bit fancy, you'll be at it. 1 over 6x plus half. If you were to factorize it, I wouldn't factor out the 3. I would factor out the whole 6, so I can see kind of what kind of transformation makes sense the most. Find the domain of f of g of x. It just essentially means what values of x make sense and what values of x don't. X exists, you can do whichever one you want. You can say all real x, but x equals to negative half because you don't want that to be 0. Or you can say negative infinity to negative 2, and then union negative infinity to infinity, negative half, I'm sorry, what am I talking about? Or that. You can do whatever you want, that's fine. Yeah, you're all good. Sketch that. +1. Oh my god, I'm trying to take a piss right now. Okay. Okay. Y equals. I'm just going to write it again just because that is what I like to do. That's what Mr. Kim likes to do. First thing first, you start by finding the asymptotes and intercepts. So to me, what I notice is that there is a little +1 here. That means the horizontal asymptote equals to y equals to 1 because it's a horizontal elevation by 1. And vertical asymptote is when x doesn't make sense, right? Or when the denominator doesn't make sense. So that becomes x equals to negative half. That's when the domain was set. As soon as I do that, I am given a pretty decent chance to know what I'm drawing. But here's a problem. I saw a lot of you guys when I was walking around drawing the grid and drawing the asymptotes and starting to think what it's supposed to look before you do all that. Now the problem with that, I'm just going to draw a little draft. Even if you guys know what the asymptotes are, you don't know if it's going to be like this, or it's going to be like this, or like this, or this, or like, you get me, right? You get me. You need to find the intercepts first. That is what I always try to tell my kids. So now, x-intercept means y equals to 0. That means 0 equals to 1 over 6x plus 3 plus 1. 6x plus 3 equals to negative 1. X equals to negative 2/3. I'm tired, guys. Y-intercept is when x equals to 0. So you get y equals to 4/3. So now I have all the important details that I need to know. Horizontal asymptote is at, obviously, guys, use a ruler. I noticed you guys weren't using ruler in your exams. Do as I say, not as I do, guys. I don't use a ruler because I'm lazy. But I'm not the one taking HSC. X equals to negative half. Now, what else do we have? Y-intercept is at 4/3. 4/3, what I notice is that it's higher than the horizontal asymptote. So I know it's going to be up here. And x-intercept is at negative 2/3, which is further than negative half. So it should look like this. Now make sure your asymptotes look asymptotic. Some of you guys were failing to do that, so that's not as good. Make sure to label everything. I wasn't doing that. My fault, gang. My fault. Negative 2/3. X and Y. You can do that after. Don't worry about it. The third and the fifth term of a geometric series are 21.6 and 31.104, respectively, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now what I notice is that if I were to be a smart person about it, Tn equals to AR to the power of n minus 1. I would start by writing the formula and write down what I know. T3 apparently should be AR to the power of 2. And that is 21.6. T5 equals to AR to the power of 4, which equals to 31.104. I've seen some of you guys who kind of remembered some of the steps, but mixed it with arithmetic series and arithmetic sequence and used 2D instead of R squared. You know who you are if you're watching the video. And if that's you, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Okay. Anyhow, so now you just got to do 31.104 over 21.6 and that becomes 1.44. R squared is 1.44. That's so easy. R equals to plus minus 1.2 immediately. Okay, and R could be plus minus, so that's fine. I didn't answer the question yet, have I? First term, we're looking for A. Easiest way to know is that AR squared equals to 21.6. So I'm going to say A Well, I know r squared is just 1.44. There's no point of worrying about the plus minus because it's squared. Life is good. 21.6. A equals 21.6 divided by 1.44. 15. I think I saw some of you guys having it when I was walking around. Saron and Ryan take their driving tests on the same day. The probability of Ryan passing the driving test is 0.65. Probability of both Saron and Ryan passing is 0.533. They're taking it at the same time. They're not going to hit each other. They're not going to get in the way of each other. We're going to assume independence. Probability that Saron and Ryan, probability of sir, is the same as probability of S times probability of Ryan, only if independent. Only if they're independent, then we can just multiply them. Okay? Remember, and is a multiply or is an addition. I've seen people trying to add this. Mutually exclusive changes the or, and it changes the addition. Independent changes the intersection and it changes it to just multiplication. Anyhow, so we know both of them passing is 0.533. We know probability of Saron is what I'm trying to find. We know probability of Ryan is 0.65. So probability of Saron is 0.533 over 0.65, which is the same as 0.533 divided by 0.65, 0.82. Better driver than Ryan. What is the probability that both Saron and Ryan failing? Essentially what I'm looking for is probability that Saron fails and Ryan fails. And that is the same as probability of not Saron passing times probability of not Ryan passing. And that is the same as the complement of these events, which is 0.18 times 0.35. So now you get 0.18 times 0.35. Yeah. All that. What is the probability that at least one of them failing? Well, what is that the same as? 1 minus probability of all failing. Wait a minute. All passing. So all we got to do is 1 minus all of them passing was 0.533. So easy. Jeez. 0. It's the thing. It's the thing. Anyhow. Oh, guys. What do I notice? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, theta is in radians. On your formula sheet, you guys will be given this formula. But obviously, we know that this is in degrees. You can actually just replace it into theta over 2 pi times 2 pi r. Boom, boom, and then you get r theta. But also, that is just the formula you can assume. You do not have to show that anymore. We can assume that. You should have learned it in year 11 when I wasn't teaching you guys. Anyhow, so now, perimeter equals r plus r. There we go. And we factorize it and we're all good. Given that the perimeter of the sector OAB is 22 centimeters, show that its area is this. You guys struggle with this a lot. Okay. Remember, perimeter is certain formula that you already found. Area, you just develop another formula of it because the question is asking for the area of the sector. And if you guys do remember the area of the sector, it is half r squared theta. If you don't remember, you can also do theta over 360 times pi r squared and then just change it into theta over 2 pi times pi r squared. Cancel, you get theta on 2 r squared. They're all the same thing. Okay, they're all the same. You can derive it worst case first. But now, I notice in this expression that I have, I want to keep my theta, but I don't want to keep my r. We don't want r. That means r equals blah, blah, blah. R is the subject. Are you okay with that? So since that equals to 22, that means r equals to 22 over 2 plus theta. That means area equals to theta over 2 bracket r. And then you get theta over 2 times 482 over 2 plus theta squared. But Mr. Kim, how did you know to not expand it? Well, because the final term doesn't expand it. Now, you just cancel out the 2 and the 482, 242. It becomes 242 theta over 2 plus theta squared. I am being a little bit inefficient right now, but as long as it makes sense, I'd rather you guys take a few extra steps than to not. Okay? I'm so not bothered for this. Five root 3, so 0.6821. Question asks for 4 decimal places. Using the trapezoidal rule, 4 function values in the table. So now that means 4 sub-interval. Find an estimate. So remember, area is approximately, a lot of you guys still mix this up. It's either h on 2 blah, blah, blah. You guys are okay with that. Or b minus a on 2n. Blah, blah, blah. Because h is b minus a on n, or the number of subintervals, or just distance between x. But we don't have to use the b minus a on 2n, because what do we know about the distance between the two x's? 1. So we can literally just go 1 over 2, because h is 1, and we go 1.4286 plus 0.5556 plus 2 times these middle guys. And that should be okay. With the reference to the curve, explain whether the estimate in part B is an overestimate or underestimate. Well, remember, the way we're drawing trapeziums, we typically refer to trapeziums with straight lines. If I were to draw that, that's an overestimate by this much. Over. All good? Am I there yet? Jesus Christ, it feels like I've been talking forever. A brand of rechargeable batteries provides power for 32 hours when first purchased, fully charged. After its first recharge, the long product will then. Remember, T1 equals to 32. That is after 0 recharge. T2 is 30.4, or 32 times 0.95. That was 1 recharge. So that means if the question is asking for the 3rd recharge, we're looking for T4. So now we get T4 equals to 32 times 0.95 to the power of 3. And you'll get 32 times 0.95 to the power of 3. 27.4, 2 decimal places, 44 hours, approximately. When you guys do the approximation, you make sure to round properly and then all should be fine. Now, question B, how many hours could you expect to get out of the battery? They're asking me how many recharges and how many times, however many times I do it, doesn't matter. What will it add up to in total? Okay, so now that's saying, oh, well, what do we notice? The ratio is 0.95, which is just less than 1. Now, that means if you got a vacuum it that you can do it, the noise cancelling is pretty good. That's okay. Yeah, it's okay. No worries, no worries. Yeah. Now, that means I'm looking for the geometric sum because it will eventually die out. Eventually, the battery will reach zero. So all is good. Now, so what we got to do is make sure, we can do a limiting sum. At this point, I can do A over 1 minus R, which was 32 over 1 minus 0.95. But sir, I can't do 32 because 32 didn't have a recharge. That's not what the question is asking about. The question says total number of hours. So we can just do 32 over 1 minus 0.95. And you guys are overthinking it a little bit, I think. And that happens. That happens. You guys are just still learning. 32 over 0.05. I reckon 640 hours. Now, if the battery is thrown away when its charge level after recharging is less than 2 hours, how many times would it be recharged? The question, some of you guys were referring this to the sum, but the question is just asking after how many recharges, the battery life will just be 2 hours left. So this is actually the T of n is less than 2. But remember what Mr. Kim says, don't use it as an inequality because sometimes you will trip up here and there when you're using ln. I would probably say, just say 32 times 0.95 into power 1 equals to 2 for now. And then you get log 0.95, 1 over 16 equals to n minus 1. Wait a minute. Guys, do you guys recognize something here? Remember how if it was the fourth term, there were 3 recharges? If it was the second term, there was 1 recharge? The question is asking how many times would it be recharged? Whatever the value of n is, if I were to just subtract 1, that would be the number of recharges I would just get. I can actually just keep it as n minus 1, and that's fine. Life is good. Yeah. So now you will just need to do, let's see, log 0.95, 1 over 16, and that would be 54 recharges. I think I may have overcomplicated my mind. Point blah blah blah. So let's just let me just actually do it properly without cheating. N equals to 55.05 dot 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 dot. That means at 55 we actually haven't reached 2. So that means at 56 on the 56th term at n equals to 56, it will be less than 2. So now we actually, now 55 recharges. Okay. So I did kind of overcomplicate it for myself. My bad here. Anyhow, there we go. The graph of y equals to x squared is transformed. I've already shown it to you guys in class. So I'm just going to go quickly through it. I'm not going to explain to you as much. Remember to say, f of x equals to x squared. And then you just take it one step at a time. This guy is kf of x. This is kx squared. Applies onto after. This is a horizontal translation of p units. And remember, if I say translated by 5, you just assume minus 5 on the inside. And if I say negative 5, then we do plus 5 on the inside. So k f of x minus p equals to k. Now it happens in the bracket. A lot of you guys did x squared minus p. That's no good. And a vertical translation of q units. K f of x minus p, and now plus by q. That becomes kx minus p squared plus q. Oh, I need it to be a perfect square. But it's not a perfect square. So y equals to 3 bracket x squared plus 8x plus 11. Now this becomes 3. Now remember, x squared plus 8x. Oh, this is going to turn into x plus 4 squared. So now it becomes plus 16 minus 16 plus 11 bracket. You should be comfortable with perfect squares. You can't be like, so how'd you get that? I'm gonna beat your ass. I didn't say that. My lawyer advised me to not finish that sentence. Now I have minus 5 in here, and now this guy will be my perfect square. So we get 3x plus 4 squared minus 5, but they're all in the big bracket still. And if you said q is negative 5, then you're very unfortunate because the q in this instance is expanded out fully. So I need to say 3x plus 4 squared minus 15. Therefore, k equals to 3, p equals to negative 4, q equals to negative 15. Yep. All right. I don't know how long it took me, but I hope it turned out okay. So yeah, study hard. Boom.